Hello everyone. So in the previous videos, we have seen how to access the file of Azure Data Lake Gen 2 account in serverless pools that are publicly available or not protected. Now in the upcoming this video and upcoming videos, we will try to understand how to access those files that are not publicly available or protected. So permission to access the file on Azure Storage are controlled at two levels. First is storage level, second is service SQL service level. Okay, so let's understand. So anyhow, if we want to access the file of Azure Data Lake Gen 2 account, okay, we need a permission at storage level. Okay, so let me show you how. So this is my storage account. Okay, so in this storage account, I have containers. Okay. In the containers, I have multiple files, multiple file like this is so these are the containers. So let me click on container. Okay. So here we can see inside the container, I have directory and then I have a file. So inside this directory again, I may have a file. Okay. Now to access these containers or file, user must have a permission to this storage account. Okay, now how to provide and what kind of permission? So to see this or to provide the access, we need to click on access control. Okay, now simply we need to click on add role assignment. Okay, after that we need to choose what role we are going to provide. Okay, so we have a list of role here. So now I just want to provide storage blob data owner role. Okay, click on next. Okay, again here assign access to. So to whom we are going to assign access? Either we can give access to individual user or can say Microsoft Entra user or to any group or to any service principal or managed identity. So what are these things? We may see in upcoming videos. Okay, now simply we need to click on next and then simply next at the final we can assign. Okay, hold on. Yeah, we need to select the member. So when I choose user group or service principal, click on select and here we will get the list of user group or service principal who has access to this Microsoft Azure account. Okay, and then simply we can choose and provide access. Okay, now I don't want to provide I don't have any user, but still let's select. Okay, select. Now we can see we got the option review and assign, but I don't want to provide. Next is manage identity. Okay, so here when I click on manage identity and click on select member, again we need to select the manage identity. So here I have a two manage identity, uh, all system assign manage identity and Synapse workspace. Okay, I just need to select and after that simply review and assign. But now I don't want to do anything. Okay, so I'm just explaining what. So first permission we need at storage level. So we saw just now how to provide a permission at storage level. Okay, so assume user got the permission at storage level. So when user got the permission at storage level, user can uh, open the containers. Okay, and 1 minute. User can open the container after getting the access, and then user can see any of the directory or file based on the permission. Okay, user if user got a owner role or contributor role, then user may edit the file, delete the file. But if user has only read access, then user can only open and read the file. That's it. Okay, so first label is Azure storage label. Now, after getting the access at storage label, user must need a permission at SQL service level also. Okay, So what is the need of SQL service label? So if we want to access the file using a Synapse serverless pool, then in that case user must need a permission at serverless pool, or can say at Synapse workspace also. If we just want to see the file at storage label, I mean at only Azure Data Lake Gen 2 account, then we don't need access at Synapse workspace or Synapse serverless pool. But if we want to access the file using a Synapse serverless pool, then we need access at Synapse workspace also. Now, the question may arise why we need a Synapse workspace if we can directly see the file at Azure Data Lake Gen 2 account. The thing is, at the data lake, we have a file, but not, we may have some file in CSV format and data readable. But when we have some unstructured file like JSON file or large volume of file that are unstructured, so to read this kind of file, we must need a SQL or any programming language like Python, PySpark. So these things are available in Synapse Workspace. So user must need a appropriate permission at Synapse Workspace or in serverless pool to access this kind of file. Okay. So now come to the SQL service label. Users should have granted permission to read data using external table or to execute OPENROWSET function. So in previous video, we have seen we have used OPENROWSET function to access the file. Okay, but in my previous videos, I was able to access this file without creating any credential because those files was publicly available. Okay, but when files are not publicly available or not protected, okay, so in this case we need to create a credential. Okay, and what does credential mean and what does credential do? So credential is simply just used to identify whether user has the required permission to access those file or not. We will see now. So to query a file located in Azure Storage, serverless SQL endpoint needs a credential that contain authentication information. So two type of credential are used. Okay. So before explaining what kind of authentication we can use, I want to show something else. So in Azure Storage account, when I opened access control, we have seen these things were available like user shared access signature service principal, and one was group, and group we can consider as a user also because multiple users can be called a group, and last was managed identity. So these are the authorization type, okay, to access the file of Azure or Data Lake Gen 2 account. Okay, so for all this kind of authorization type, we need to create a credential in Synapse serverless pool. Okay, now again, we can create a credential at two level, one server level, another database scope credential. So what is the use of this? So in my previous videos, we have seen uh, I access the file directly using OpenROSET function. So when we have to access the file or directly using OpenROSET function, in this case, we need to create a server level credential. Okay. But when we have to create a external table and use those tables, or when we have to create a data source, in this case, we have to create a database scope credential. Okay. Now just now we have seen we have a four kind of authorization type. Okay, and same we have seen in Azure Data Lake Gen 2 account. When I was trying to provide access, I had to select let me show again, access control, add role assignment. I'm just repeating the things. Okay, now let's go with reader now only. So here we can see assign access to user group. These are same, both are same. User means single user, group means multiple user, then service principal, and then manage identity. Okay. So here also we have same authentic authorization type. One is extra called shared access signature. So this I will explain in my upcoming video. Okay. So for all these authorization type, we need to create a credential. So and credential we have at two level, one server level, another database scope credential. So for server level also we have to create a four credential. Four credential means for all four authorization type, and for database scope credential we have to create a four credential. Okay, for all four authorization type. Okay, it's not mandatory to create all four credential. It's based on the requirement. Okay, so we will see now. This part I just want to escape. Let's cover this one. Video may become some lengthy. So now who can create a credential? Okay, so just assume I am a user, okay, and I am admin user, and I want some other user can create any kind of credential. Then I need to run this query: grant alter any credential, then another username. Okay, this is the example of username. Now after creating a credential, this is for server level. Now if we have to provide access for database scope level credential, so user can create or database scope level credential, then need to run this. So admin can do anything, like admin can create a credential, but if we want some other user can create a credential or drop a credential, then this command we need to run only for server level credentials. So after executing this and providing a username, this user can create a server level credential or can drop server level credential. If I execute this one, then this user can create or drop database scope level credential. Okay. Now the second thing is, just assume there are more user and I want some user may use existing credential. So in this case, to use existing server level credential, I need to execute this one: grant reference on credential, then credential name or to login name. Simply we need to provide server level credential to login name, and here grant reference on database scope credential, database scope credential to username. Okay, so now just explain who can create or drop or who can use existing credentials. Okay, now the next part, how to create a credential. Okay, first we will see how to create a server level credential for all four authorization type, and then we will see how to create a database scope level credential for all four authorization type. Okay, so for this first one, user identity or Microsoft Entra user authorization type, how to create a server level credential, we'll see in the next video. Thank you.